differently abled, differently.
Welcome back, and you are watching Abled Differently. Orione Community Training Center held an interactive breakfast meeting on the 29th of November. This was in preparation for the 3rd of December. The aim was to increase awareness and understanding of disability issues among journalists for effective and timely reporting.
Orione Community Training Center is an initiative of the Catholic faithfuls who desired to meet certain community needs, as told by the project manager, Mr. Richard Magana.
The institution was started by the Sons of Divine Providence, that is a Catholic congregation whose founder, Don Luigi Orione, had the charism to work with the most vulnerable people in the society. In our case here in Kenya, the most vulnerable people are children and youth living with these conditions that I mentioned earlier. We have two centers here in Kenya. One is in Murang'a, Kafurugi, and the second one is here where we are in Ongata Rongai, Kandisi, where we have a population of 70 students who we work with through a multidisciplinary approach that is organized in three main areas. This is special education, rehabilitation, which includes physical therapy, occupational therapy, and speech therapy. Then we have training in farming, vocational training in farming, to equip them with life skills for self-reliance and independence. So this is how our work is organized here, and we have we admit, or rather we enroll students between the ages of 3 years up to 18 years.
On Monday, the 29th of November, an interactive breakfast meeting was held at the Orione Community Training Center. The theme for the year has been leadership and participation of persons with disabilities towards an inclusive, accessible and sustainable post-COVID-19 world. And Mr. Magana broke this down for the layman's understanding.
In this work for the last practically 10 years here in Kenya, and through our daily testimony and the realities that we've seen, we've discovered that it's really important to reinforce on the importance of early intervention and stimulation. Why? Because we all know how we perceive disability as a Kenyan society. We all know what taboos and what the culture says and what different tribes have to say about disability. Some believe it's a curse, some believe it's witchcraft, some believe you did something against God, and all these negative stereotypes. So in all this context, coupled in addition to the lack of information, in addition to lack of adequate resources for this area, in addition to the stigma that the families face when they have a child with a disability, many of these children tend to be confined at home until when, according to the research, it's a bit too late to intervene. Because it's very important for every child to receive stimulation between the ages of 0 to 7 years. And stimulation in this case is basically talking to the child, helping them, tummy time, how to sit properly, positioning, neck control. Now, it's very possible to do this quite easily for a child, a typical child. But then when a couple receives a child with a disability, and in this case, a mental condition and syndrome, autism for instance, cerebral palsy, Down syndrome, already based on the fact that there's a lack of information, there's the stigma, they don't know where to go to, they don't know what to do.
Orione Center equips their students with knowledge and life skills to help them live independent lives afterwards, as Richard explains on the importance of this kind of approach.
Probably because of their conditions, they are not able to receive equal employment opportunities like any other person. That is why we have the farm, where we give them the training in these technical skills. When they reach the age of 18, we start this process. How to identify money, how to count, how to identify the different tools, the different crops, because it's the resource we have in this moment, the farm. But through this farm, we are able to give or pass other skills that are really important for them to be able to reach a level of self-reliance. And this is why we work in that way. And 3 years ago in 2018, we had our first lot of graduated young farmers who have now, 3 years later, exited to start their own projects in their communities and in their homes.
Lydia Ouma was honored to be part of the interactive breakfast meeting, which gave parents an opportunity to share their ideas and views on matters discussed.
It's a support that you need from both your spouse and your family members. But it happens that, I don't know why it's like that. Relatives from the husband's side, they always blame the wife. I don't know why they blame us. And they always, like my side, they were saying that them in their lineage, they don't have people living with disability. I should be asked why my children, both of them, are suffering, because it's a coincidence. All of them, their limbs, the right side, is weak. Both, my firstborn and my secondborn. So I should be asked what I'm doing to their kids.
The mother of two at the center applauded the good job the center is doing with their children.
Orione is creating an atmosphere where they can come in and be trained on how they can achieve a living instead of begging on the streets, which that one really inspired me.
Benjamin Bett, a trainer at the center since 2015, has seen students transform the community's perception of them through farming and urged parents to support them.
Realize this can do digging very well. I just focus on them, and those who can do, for example, watering, for example, or even uprooting weeds, I just focus them on that area. Yeah, so that by the end of the training, all of them we reach the 2 years where we normally train for the 2 years before they graduated.
We're differently abled, differently.
As is their norm, United States International University held a 3-day event with the theme, "Not All Disabilities Are Visible." Take a look.
United States International University, USIU, held disability awareness event from 1st to 3rd December 2021, with this year theme being "Not All Disabilities Are Visible," which is in line with the International Day of Persons with Disabilities.
We are creating awareness to our population, to the community of the university on matters of disability, so that we sensitize them on issues to do with the disability. We even provide them with the ability to learn a new language. Because you see, for example, calling somebody disabled, that's not really right. Because like one of our presenters earlier said that actually somebody living with a disability may be more abled than somebody who is just okay, because somebody may be moving with a wheelchair or something, but academically they're doing much better. So if you're thinking of somebody who is disabled, really, then maybe the other one is more disabled than this.
The chairperson of National Council of Persons with Disability discussed the issue of partnering together on matters of training, interpreters and registering students.
We're having students at KBC in various parts of this country. And that program ran for 6 months, and it started last month. So in a duration of 6 months, we shall be having students who will be graduating from that program. And then we take another slot of students. So we have discussed with your DVC and your faculties that we shall be partnering together, whereby we shall be requesting the institution to facilitate some officers, and also the council will be facilitating some officers so that they can go for that training.
The event is designed to sensitize the USIU Africa community on how to relate, respond on persons with disabilities, and also its focuses on the achievements the university has made in regards with issues of disability and inclusivity.
Part of what we've been doing is to create awareness on matters of disability at the university. And we've had these events actually annually. Other than during the corona, we were not able to do this, but we are glad that we are back on campus this time round and we've been able to do this. So we've had this previous years.
The event was very helpful to students who managed to attend.
Bit of variety of things about different able students. So we've got we are given some opportunities and some things we have not known, like how to come across these challenges and how to face them. Like many people have learned, it should not also be to people treat them like stigmas, not to stigmatize them, but also give them a time to explain themselves and whatnot, like know their life story. Yeah, no, like it's not about like people born like physically challenged, like about myself. Like I got some injury of the spine, so get to know like when I see somebody on a wheelchair, it's not about like, oh, this person is on a wheelchair. So yeah, like we should treat them like any other person, me and you, not like we are going, we have some differences, but just like in the situation we are.
The university introduced the MasterCard Foundation Scholarship Program Vision for Disability and Inclusion.
They provide a scholarship for students who are disadvantaged. Okay, those who are refugees, people living with disabilities, people coming from totally very poor backgrounds, and yet they are academically sharp and they are able to pursue university level education. So they have provided us that scholarship. So we're actually running that scholarship at the university, and we've made adverts. Right now we have already had 2 cohorts of students that we have recruited, and we'll continue recruiting again, because in 10 years they want us to have trained quite a number of students.
We're differently abled, differently.
Let's take a look at the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities.
Article 25 of the UN Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities states that state parties shall, Part B, provide those health services needed by persons with disabilities, specifically because of their disabilities, including early identification and intervention as appropriate, and services designed to minimize and prevent further disabilities, including among children and older persons.
Many individuals and organizations marked the International Day of Persons with Disabilities in different ways. We could not be able to highlight all the events, but here on Able Differently, we recognize every effort made towards making the world an inclusive place for all. I'm afraid that's where we come to the end of the program for today, but be sure to join us every other Sunday when time and space allows. I've been your host, Jane Theory. Do have yourselves a festive season.
We are here and we are strong. Let's be counted as we move on. Make a difference, change lives as we tell our different stories. We are capable, beautiful. We are born to do great things. We're unstoppable, incredible, 'cause we're differently abled, differently.